The modern world is facing an undeniable moral crisis, the ongoing animal holocaust. Every year, billions of sentient beings are forcibly bred, confined, mutilated, and slaughtered in the meat, dairy, and egg industries. Their short lives are filled with fear, suffering, and deprivation, all to satisfy human taste preferences that are unnecessary for survival. To call this anything less than a holocaust is to deny the scale and horror of what is happening. Just as humanity has recognized the moral atrocities of the past, it must now confront the violence inflicted upon non-human animals. Veganism is not a diet. It's not a trend. It's a justice movement. At its core, veganism is about refusing to participate in the exploitation and killing of those who are most vulnerable. Animals are not objects or commodities. They're individuals with the capacity to feel pain, joy, and a desire to live. Just as other justice movements have fought the systemic oppression of marginalized groups, veganism stands to liberate billions of animals from a system that views them as nothing more than resources. One of the most common excuses people use to avoid veganism is convenience. Yet today we live in a time where vegan alternatives exist for nearly every product. Burgers, milk, cheese, ice cream, leather, cosmetics, all of them have cruelty-free versions that can be bought in supermarkets and shops worldwide. There's no need to cling to tradition of outdated habits when ethical, sustainable alternatives are so accessible. The very same tastes and experiences people claim to love can be enjoyed without funding torture and death. Furthermore, veganism aligns with the universal principles people claim to uphold: compassion, justice, and fairness. It is inconsistent to teach children to be kind to dogs and cats while paying for pigs, cows, chickens, and fish to be tortured and killed. This selective compassion reveals a cultural bias, not a moral truth. If people truly believe in justice and empathy, those values should extend to all sentient beings, not just the ones society has arbitrarily chosen as companions. Another crucial point is that veganism is not about personal purity or perfection. It's about justice. No one can live without causing some harm, but what matters is reducing unnecessary harm. The vast majority of crops grown worldwide are fed to animals raised for slaughter, not directly to humans. By eating plants directly, we minimize suffering and maximize the use of resources, feeding more people while sparing animals from slaughterhouses. Veganism is simply the baseline of justice, not an unreachable ideal. Critics often argue that people should have the freedom to choose what they eat. Sure, but they shouldn't be able to choose who they eat. Because when choices cause harm to others, they're no longer ethically neutral. No one would argue that exploiting children, enslaving people, or harming the vulnerable is just a matter of personal preference. Similarly, consuming animal products is not a benign lifestyle choice. It is a decision that funds systemic violence. Freedom of choice cannot extend to taking away the most fundamental rights of others, the right to live free from exploitation and death. To sum up, veganism is the logical and compassionate response to the greatest injustice of our time, the animal holocaust. It is a justice movement rooted in empathy, fairness, and the recognition of animal rights. With cruelty-free alternatives available for every product imaginable, convenience and tradition can no longer excuse participation in violence. Choosing veganism means standing against oppression, aligning actions with values, and creating a kinder, more just world for animals, humans, and the planet we share. Please be vegan from now on. Let's go.
Let's follow that vegan teacher on YouTube right now. Let's help her say that